Hi everyone, in today's video we're making a slide animation. This is a preview of what we'll be making today, and let's view it so to know what we're doing. I'm going to wait for it to load. So basically, yeah, this is it. So this is what we'll be making in this short video, how to create a slide animation in Figma. So let's get back to it. Now first off, to create something like this, we'll need some components. Let's start with the first one. Now let's create a bar, but in this case I'll call it slide bar, the slide bar. So you can either use a rectangular key, as click on your arrow on the keyboard to create your rectangle, or you use a frame, in which case, but in this case I'll be using a rectangle, or you can also use the rectangular shape on the nav bar to create this rectangle. So now let's create the width we want. So in your case, you can use whatever width you feel like you want to use, but in this case I'll be using 210 for the height, and then let's give it a border radius of 20 to make it look nice to the eyes. So after creating this, in your case you can rename it, but it's not a priority to name, but I feel like naming your Figma component and stuff gives you a bit of orderliness, you understand? So but in that case you can leave it if you don't want to, but in my case I just want to name them. So let's move on to the next component here. So we're going to create the circle, which I'll call the slide circle. You can do that by holding, by clicking on the O on your keyboard. So we're going to put it over slide bar, and then we're going to give it a stroke. Now since it's too big, let's reduce it a little bit. Let's say 40. Okay, now we're going to vertical, align vertical center. And we're going to give the circle a stroke of 3. So after adding the stroke of 3, we're going to align vertical center, and then we're going to create a frame. We're going to align both of them, both the slide bar and slide circle. Then we're going to right click and make frame selection. Or for shortcuts, if you are using a Mac, you can just Command Alt G, that will create the frame for you. But if you're using a Windows, you can just Control Alt G, that's for shortcut. So you just do that, and then it creates the frame selection. Okay, so after creating the frame selection, we want to work on the numbers. And we want to work on the numbers. So after working on the numbers, we're going to group them together. So let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's focus on these moment. So let's work on the numbers. Now this, we're going to start from 0. So for the numbers, basically you can use any font of your choice, but for this purpose, I'm going to use Inter Bold. Okay, so after selecting bold, we're going to create a list of numbers like this from 0 to 10. Anyways, in your case, you can make it as lengthy as you want, but for this video, I'm going to make it 10. So you're going to right click and then make a frame selection out of it. again, and then clip content to hide every other numbers. So just one figure is going to be showing, which is 0. So that's going to be the starting point for the slide. So then you're going to center a line for it to be centered, then shift the 0 a little bit down to give it a space to breathe. Now, after creating your numbers, you're going to put it on top of the slide, which is the combination of the slide circle and the slide bar. Let me zoom in so you can see. Okay, so we're going to center align it and then right click again to create a frame selection. So after creating the frame selection, we're going to duplicate it. We're going to duplicate it and then move the slide circle to the other side by holding your arrow key right, and then we're going to do the same for the numbers by moving the 0 upwards so we get to 10. Just use the arrow key upwards to do that on your keyboard. So yes, this is the 10. We're going to stop here since that's the last figure we are using, but in your case, if you're using a lengthier figure than that, you can use. So we're going to rename this the end slide. So we're going to stack them on top each other. We're going to move the 10 under, then we're going to alight it and give it a margin, a margin space of 64. In this case, you can use whatever margin in your case, but in this case, I just want to use a margin space of 64. And then I'm going to relight it again and then create a component set. You can create a component set by clicking on the arrow key downwards on that component icon and see the component set and create a component set from that. So that's it. You create a component set. Now what's remaining in this case, we're going to prototype. So we're going to prototype for you to see how it works. So but before then, we have to change the name of the component to slide animation. That's what I'm changing mine to, but in your case you can leave it just like that, but in this case I just want to rename it for renaming purpose. So after that, I'm going to click on the slide circle and the frame housing the slide numbers, which is the 0, and then you're going to drag it and place it on the next frame, which is the end frame, and then you're going to click on drag. Let me bring it upward so you can see. You're going to click on drag, smart animate. Now I want to change the time frame to 1000 milliseconds for you to see that feel when the animation moves from 1 to 2 to 3 thereabout. Now let's do the same for the end slide. We click on the slide circle and the frame housing the numbers, and then you drag it onto the other frame. Now you're going to click on drag. Let me bring it up so you can see. You click on drag, smart animate, and then every other thing is the same. Now for the presentation, I'm going to create a frame. You can create any size of frame you want, but in this case I'm going to use a frame of 300 width and 200 height. So after creating the frame, we're going to include, drag and put one of the frame inside the new frame we created, and we're going to preview it to see if it works. Okay, for the preview screen it's working, so Now we're going to play it to know if it works in the full screen. So that's how you do a slide animation. Now for more content like this, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and we'll continue to update you. Subscribe for more content like this. Now just finish loading. Let's try it one more time if it's working. Okay, it's working. It's fine. Thanks for watching, guys.